Sofy when I was at Equatisl.
Uh-huh.
Um, this is wonderful, and I know you're going to talk about, what's it, extrasensory perception? This is about mind reading?
Almost. It's actually ESP. It stands for English for Specific Purposes.
Oh, good. I should pay attention then. Maybe I need this. All right.
I will be happy to share a little bit of what I know of the topic. I'm very pleased of being here. So what I have researched about it, it could probably contribute to some of you who are wondering about what is ESP.
Great. Well, I'll let you get started. We get the timer going, and you're off.
Thank you. So good morning, and I'm welcoming you from the city of Riobamba to EFLtalks in Ecuador. I would like to start today by thinking to start with the question, what is ESP? Just in case you're wondering. If we are, as we are able to see in this slide, English for specific purposes is an area of teaching the English language in different scenarios, different from general English. This is specific. English for specific purposes is the one that teach English for specific vocations or jobs. Some common types of ESP are business English, for example, aviation English, English for medical professionals. As you can see in this slide, one of the best ways to grasp the vision of ESP is to study English language development tree developed by the scholars Hutchinson and Berens in 2003. From its early beginnings back in 1960, ESP has related directly to what the students need to do in their vocations or jobs. Harding believes that ESP is important because it helps to increase vocational learning and training for the world. As globalization is spreading, as you know, it is not just the politician, the business leader, the academic professor who needs to speak internationally with its colleagues or their clients. It is also the hotel receptionist, the nurse, and the site fireman, for example. So if we're moving to the next slide, you're wondering when to use ESP. ESP is best used when it's needed. It goes according to what the students need to learn. According to the Common European Framework, students who are studying ESP should at least have upper intermediate to best level of English. However, in our actual context in Ecuador, it's highly plausible to find such students, even though in some Ecuadorian universities, it is possible to come with the ESP courses such as business, legal, and aviation. How do we use ESP? But ESP are prepared to a specific English training. What is the time frame that they have to study? After the curriculum of this program of ESP is decided, it is important to understand that the ESP it isn't going to follow a syllabus, for example. It is going to be developed from the student with the teacher and with the teaching to the students. It is going to be by reading, by interaction, researching, learning new vocabulary, putting the vocabulary into context, and more than that, learning the acquisition of a new knowledge. Why? Why is ESP important? As you can see in this picture, some of the young learners who are in this case, my lovely SNAT, Universidad Nacional de Chimborazo in Riobamba, where I have the pleasure to work. These students are really wondering and wanting to know how could they progress in their real job experience. And one of the topics that we have been talking about is to know English for very specific subjects, such as business for legal purposes, English for business, and then also English for medical professionals. Why ESP? Because it was developed as a need from general English. The main objective of ESP is training. The focus is on context. The syllabus, if you are using it, it has a high value of it. Generally, the learners of an ESP course are young adults and adults. As we can see, as I have said before in this photo, these motivated students are searching for new opportunities of not knowing only general English, but also going forward to a specific subject. Context versus content. Okay, the main difference of context versus content is that context are settings where it's used and content is being the main part of the module. It conforms only one part. One might infer that content of a piece from its context could be done, but never vice versa. ESP has been divided into different, and two of the most important ones are English for academic purposes, EAP, and English for operational purposes, which is EOP. But in any of those cases, the presented context and content differ or are changed. It is almost always going to be developing new context and content of a module of ESP according to what kind of program and according to what the needs of those participants are. Materials. There is a big debate according to whether materials for an ESP course should be used. And here I am providing some of the ideas that I have researched. There is a big well-known procedure that printed materials are always the best to learn a language. However, we also have some audiovisual materials and online materials. Realia is always welcome in our classrooms. Live materials that expresses English specialized purposes, like technical English, for example, and as we have seen before from Vicky in her exposition, projects are always welcome, and projects will be perfect for applying the ESP knowledge that students are acquiring. An ESP teacher. Okay, so some of you may recognize the sir who is with me in this picture, and he is Daniel Casco. And thank you, Danny, for allowing me to be part of my presentation. But more than that, thank you for what you have told me about ESP. The ESP teacher is a specialized teacher who is in the subject of English language. It is not the teacher who is just teaching vocabulary and how it used. It is ideal that the English teacher will also have a background of the knowledge, but if not, the ESP teacher could also be a practitioner, which means that learning together with the student. If you don't know this topic, then some of the students know, then you could exchange ideas and both parts are learning. Advantages and disadvantages. As you can see, the major disadvantages are time, preparation, and materials, whereas the mainly advantages of ESP are becoming more English, which is easier and faster to relate to a specific subject. This is what I have brought for you today according to my small research of ESP has been done. And I would like to thank once again to Rob Howard for such a great experience. I consider that motivated teachers as you are is who are developing and building together a new knowledge that we really need. It has been a pleasure from the city of Riobamba to be with you all, and I hope that you keep enjoying this ESL Talk presentation. And if you have any questions or any feedback, I'm very happy to hear your comments at sofy.ribadeneira@gmail.
Okay, Sophie, thanks so much. That was great. And
Thank you.
we did it in under 10 minutes. That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm gonna be punished because of the time?
No, I'm going to take your chair back that I gave you.
You were gonna that. You never was saying that. And the reason is because in the equities of presentation that we have before in Guayaquil, when he was making some questions about what do you think that 10 in 10 means, he's measuring from the middle of the scenario, and I said, maybe 10 slides in 10 minutes, or in 10 seconds, and he said, oh my goodness, how did you know that? Here, you deserve a chair. So I was never able to take a chair with me, but now he's saying that he's going to take out the chair from me.
No, you can keep it.
Do you think that is fair?
No. All right. Thanks again, Sophie.
Thank you to you, Ralph, and congratulations for doing this.
Okay.
Thank you for considering Ecuador one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yep, it is. Okay, bye now.